Welcome everybody, we are at the Globe Theatre here in Cardiff, one of these gorgeous little music venues that are built especially for bands like Bywater Call. Meghan Parnell is with me. Meghan.
Morgan Freeman came out with a great quote years ago talking about performance and performing, and he said the secret is to just go on and make it look very, very easy. Now I've just watched you in your warm-up, and you're there, you're multitasking to the tune of, you got the tambourine, you got your mobile phone, and you're hitting every note. I mean, you do make it look very easy.
Well, that's good. I'm glad it comes off that way. You don't want people to see you stress on stage, but yeah.
So you're back in the UK on your first headlining tour on this wave of euphoria, really, after the release of Shepherd. So how have you noticed the difference this time around as opposed to a year ago?
It was technically like a headlining tour last year. We were on our own. This year we get to have an opening band with us, which is great, and we're getting to visit a few more bigger cities that we were really excited to visit, which is great. We've been really looking forward to Cardiff actually since February last year when Dave and I were here on our own, opening for Robert John and the Wreck. We're seeing, so far we've only done 2 shows, but the attendance has been pretty good for early weekday shows.
And the comments. So, I mean, you look at the comments online. Yeah. This is the beauty of immediate social media. Yeah. I mean, I know a lot of people don't like the fact that people take mobile phones and film bands and whatever. But if you look at the comments in the videos, everybody's going, yeah, it's the same. It's like, wow, what a performance. This is amazing. You have to see them.
Well, there's no getting away from social media at this point, right? So you kind of got to embrace it, and it does really help a band like ours kind of expand their audience, and people can share their experience with their friends, and then hopefully get them on the bus with us. And yeah, definitely the interaction between fans in the UK we've seen pick up over the last bit, which is great.
Now, you made a very, very bold statement, actually. You said that I promise you that we are going to take you on a journey with this music where you will feel something. I mean, it does show supreme levels of confidence to put out a statement like that before the album actually came out, knowing that you're right. Because it is, and you did. Well,
thank you, and I hope it does come across that way. It's a big part of what we try to do with the writing and the performing, and there's tons of different aspects of that in terms of lyrics and chord progressions and however we're putting the music together, and then how we're performing it. And I really like to connect with the audience when I'm up on stage. I do try to look out and feel like we're all in this together, and it feels like it's working. I've had a lot of people come up to me, and whether it's goosebumps or it's a tear or two, or a big smile, I'll take all of it.
Why is it for you important that you connect on this almost emotional level, this wanting to make a connection? I mean, plenty of other people would be just happy to sell 1 million albums and live in a land of luxury.
Yeah.
But I always get the feeling with you that, as nice as that is, and as obvious that I actually want that as well, this means an awful lot to me as well. I don't want one without the other.
To me, music is emotion, and if it was lacking that, I don't know. When you're on tour like this and playing as much as we do, you end up playing a lot of the same material over and over again. And I feel like if we kind of just wrote stuff to put it out there, and not try to bring emotion into it, I think it would be difficult to do over and over again, and still make it look easy.
So the album and the whole event around this album begins, I think, with the album cover. So when you actually get the album cover and you see this very stark, desolate, lonely landscape that just drifts off into the distance, and this rundown shack in the middle of it, what was the narrative, or how does that blend into the narrative of what you were going to do musically?
Right. I don't know that it represents the vibe of the tunes, because I do think it's a rather joyous record, you know. I hope it doesn't make people feel desolate or lonely, but the title of the album, which is Shepherd, and I think in a way kind of that image which Dave found on the internet, a lovely painting that we found, it's more, it's speaking to maybe the song Colors specifically, which was where we got the name of the album from, which is an unrequited love tune. You know, the subject in that song is lonely and desperate and trying to hold on to something that just isn't working. The lyric is the shepherd with none of her sheep, and we felt that also at the time of making the record represented us a little bit. We certainly weren't lonely. We had the 7 of us in the process, but it was the first album that we decided to do completely within the band. You know, we worked with a producer and a record label for the first 2, and we decided for this one we really wanted to kind of keep it within us. So, you know, we didn't have the team that we had worked with before.
Because I looked at it, and I imagine others did, and you go to put it on thinking, well, this is going to be Nebraska, Bruce Springsteen.
Right.
This is going to be something like that, and then you get hit with this, with everybody knows this real 70s Aretha Franklin feel to it, and loads of groove and funk and so on. You're thinking, well, this is not as I expected. And it's almost like you're playing a game. It's just like, so you think...
It's supposed to be, it's a bit of a joke too. Not a joke, but like, we'll surprise them. They'll think it's one thing, and then,
The high point, for me, were the 2 absolute ballads. Colours was just like this emotional moment. I mean, watching you actually perform it, watching the video was almost as physically draining as I imagine it was for you actually singing it, because you put so much into this.
It's a powerful song, and I feel that way when I sing it. Live, we do a moment where as long as the venue will work for it, I do the first verse off microphone to create this like intimacy with the venue, and to also, kind of represent the fragileness of the subject in the song. But then once the band comes in and we build and we get into the chorus and there's these big notes, it feels very powerful to me, and I love that. Everybody responds really well.
And the other great thing about the album is, 1 minute we're in the 70s with Aretha, then we're just going to be in Laurel Canyon, then we're down in the deep south, and then we're rocking out. I mean, they're 2 tracks not really the same, and it's an album that needs to be sat and listened to, so as you can actually take in everything that's going on. It's not one of those you can put on in the background and let the music just blend to your surroundings. You need to sit and listen to it.
We did really think about the order of the songs and how we could, really engage people and make them want to sit down and listen to the album from start to finish, and
on your own,
take them on that journey. We like to give a lot of different flavors while trying to still maintain some sort of a cohesive voice within the band overall. So hopefully we're getting close to that.
The reaction from everybody concerned, if you look at the reviews from the critics, and you look at, more importantly, the reviews and the people that buy it, everybody was just completely blown away. I mean, you knew you'd made something good, but did you expect the level of love that was coming your way?
No, it's always hard when you put something out. It's scary, and it's like, well, people feel the same way I do, or whatever. And no, the response has been awesome. It's been very heartwarming, and I think people get what we were trying to do with it. So.
And live, I mean, people will look at Sweet Maria and Holler, and these are great live songs. But it's just this ability that you've got, and not everybody has it, which is the ability to take what you produce in a studio and almost make it sound like a completely new event when you put it on stage, which is equally as good, if not better.
We do try to make the live experience a whole other thing. We work on kind of, finding tunes that we think deserve or would be good to expand and showcase what the guys are capable of. All of them are all jazz trained musicians, are fantastic. So making sure that we build in moments for everybody on stage, and
the bar's been set very high. You do know that now. I mean, is there going to be is there going to be a time where there will be a degree of fear creeping in, because you will look back over a year and think, wow, how the hell are we ever going to get this again? How are we going to replicate this?
It's always like that, and we've been so busy this year that we haven't really had a ton of time to be creative. So you do, or like, oh, we have a couple new tunes we've been playing, which we really like, but we always want to keep upping the bar. So, we love Shepherd. Whatever the next album is, we want to love it even more and be even more proud of it. So
the journey has been a relatively short journey. You've been performing for years, but from 2017, where you kicked in and decided to do this full time. So in that time, we've had a pandemic. You started a new band. I suppose you must have got to a stage where you thought, well, actually, we've just got to keep going, never give up, and under no circumstances pay any attention to the facts that are in front of us, that this almost looks impossible.
I mean, even without the pandemic, it's a hard road. Having everything kind of shut down within months of us releasing our first album was crazy, and we're like, I don't, any momentum we had. It felt, once things came out, it kind of felt like we were starting over again, but it's an awesome, determined group of musicians, and, we're working our butts off, and we'll keep chugging along for
three albums in 5 years. In between that pandemic, last year it was 98 gigs in 23 countries. It is a fearsome work rate.
We're at
maintain
112 or something right now for this year. So.
It's a lot, and maintain. You've got to a level now that you can't take your foot off the accelerator, I suppose, because you need to continue with this momentum behind you.
For sure, I think that being said, you can be a bit smarter about your time.
You can't have holidays.
No.
That's off.
Yeah. But, being more like making sure that we do leave some room for ourselves. One, for
life.
Everybody's mental health, for everybody's personal lives. And then also to make sure that we do have time to make sure that those creative juices are flowing, and that we're able to be developing new tunes while maintaining, to always be a busy touring schedule, I think, for us. But finding that balance.
Image, the image that you portray within the media, magazines, on stage. Do you work on a specific look and feel that you want to put over?
Not really. I mean,
not putting you on the spot
no,
or anything.
I mean, for me personally, I don't know. I just want to be cool.
I don't think there's any doubt that you are not cool.
Oh, thank you.
I really don't. I don't think there's anybody out there that doesn't think that Meghan Parnell is
cool.
not. What does strike me though is, if you look at the album covers, if you look at the tour posters and whatever, is your position within the band. You are right here, front and center, with the band flanked alongside you. It looks as if it's saying, I'm the commander-in-chief here.
I need attention, that's what it's saying.
And that's, I didn't like to say, do you like to grab? It's
I'm a
great
singer.
there.
Yes, I need attention. Yes.
It's because you get the feeling when you look at it, you look at that tour poster, it's like, I can almost see out the corner of your eye going, if you even think about moving in shop.
Yeah, I can see it looks like that on the poster. The real life
Situation.
dynamic is not quite so severe. But
No, we're only joking. So the immediate future then, you're busy right the way up until the end of the year. Obviously, you will have had discussions about where you're going next, recording-wise. So what is the plan for the next 12 to 18 months?
We are gonna continue to tour the States, hopefully a bunch of stuff in Canada, and we'll be back in Europe next year. We're still working out all the specifics. We're taking most of December, January, and February off to get the writing going. So we don't know specifically when we'll go back into the studio. We want to make sure the songs are there. So in the meantime, I don't want to say, but we're working on maybe having a live album come together next year.
I was going to say, are you actually recording stuff on this tour? Because a live album would appear to be the natural progression here, or live video, live DVD, whatever.
We're recording all of our shows right now.
Oh wow! Right.
We brought a big rig with us to Europe, so we're recording all of our shows right now. We're still in the tweaking stage in terms of like how that recording is being captured, but our hope is to have a live album for next year, but we have to be happy with it before we commit to anything.
I came across a quote from Janis Joplin. This is when you're talking about genres of music and how you don't want to be categorized. And she said, look, people like their blues singers to be miserable.
Sure.
You're not miserable though, are you?
No, most of the time, no. I'm usually in a pretty good mood.
Pretty good mood.
But
Ladies and gentlemen, Meghan Parnell from Bywater Call. If you haven't seen them, then you should. And if you haven't heard the album, then what are you waiting for? Shops are open 24/7. Get onto Amazon or start to stream it. It's a fantastic album. One of the best albums, if not the best album of the year, I think.
thank you. I love that.
Fabulous. We hope to see you again soon.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.